welcome to video number two. You know what's weird? I realized I've been picking up a lot of Chinese things that I've seen or done like in China. So like for example in China, when I was in school, no one does this. Like when we were teaching in like kindergarten, everyone's like did this. Like come. So nowadays I don't do this. Like I'm just doing this, you know? Or like a weird thing that I do is just like my thumb thing, which I don't know if that's like a Chinese thing or if that's just Daryl thing. I'll say it's a Daryl thing. But like so like if I'm doing a peace sign, I'll do this, which is like I'm peace sign, but like, you know, the thumb isn't really a finger, you know, so it doesn't really count. I don't know. I'm rambling now. But anyways, I started cello lessons. I just finished my 4th lesson, which is like crazy. So it's been a whole month. But yeah, I took cello when I was in 5th grade and I loved it. But I think I was lazy and I think that's why I stopped playing. But I took it back up this year, which was really good. Like I kept complaining to my mom like why you let me quit, which it would have been great if I didn't quit in 5th grade because my parents were paying for like my lessons and stuff, and cello is an expensive hobby. So yeah, I mean, you pay for lessons. I'm paying for my cello, which her name is Merce. She's super cute, super sweet. But yeah, we spend lots of time together nowadays because she's expensive. So I'm like, you might as well practice, you know? Okay, I'm rambling. Let me play my song for you. Are you ready? I don't know if I should play Jingle Bells or Old MacDonald Had a Farm. I don't know if you have a preference. Or if I should play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I don't know. I think I'm just going to play Old MacDonald Had a Farm. But like, if I mess up, don't laugh at me. Hi, okay, I want you to see the sky. It's so pretty. I don't think you can see it. But yeah, guess where I am? Back in my sunroof. Yeah. Oops, my bad. To hit your challenge. Ooh, there we go. There's the sun. There's the light. To hit your challenge, the last book I physically read, because I read a lot of audiobooks, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks, because it's like one of my favorite things to fall asleep to is audiobooks. But the last physical book I read was The Hate U Give, which was like, I don't know if you heard of it. It like kind of blew up and became like a movie later on. But it's basically about a girl who like goes to a POC school. No, not a POC, a predominantly white school. But lives in like a equivalent to Detroit or whatever, you know? So she goes there, there's already a struggle of like identity because of like her going to this white school where it's like a little bit more rich or whatever, and like living in an area like Detroit, you know? So there's that struggle, but then also like, the book basically starts off with her going to a party, sees one of her childhood friends. They're driving home. A cop pulls him over. He reaches into his car and then the police officer shoots him because he thinks it's a gun, but it's really a hairbrush. So, you know, very, very normal story for today's society. But like, it was one of the first things that like I read or like, heard of that was like, not the first thing, but one of the first things that like kind of talked about like the struggle of like, black people and police officers, I would say white police officers, like killing them. So that was like one of the first times like I read about it, and it kind of shook me really hard because I was very, like, my eyes were really open to, like, this is, because when I read it, I was like, oh, wow, this is like a sucky book. Like, realistic, of course, but it's sucky, you know, watch the movie, da. But then, like, nowadays, with all the videos and articles and news stuff going on, like, it's a regular, everyday story that, like, I wasn't really exposed to because I live in, you know, where I live. So it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy, like, that's a norm. And being black and, like, an immigrant, I had to learn about the African American culture, which was crazy because, you know, I'm black, and if somebody sees me, they'll be like, black person, you know? They wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, that person's Jamaican, you know? So for me, I had to actually, like, sit down and, like, learn about the African American culture, just like all the other white people did, you know? Because I grew up in, like, Holland, Michigan, where it was, like, all white people, maybe some Hispanic people. And so I learned about the white American culture and then never really learned about the black American culture. So I had to learn about it for myself. Even when I dated that dude back in Detroit, like, he had to teach me so much about what it meant to be black. Like, the movies, the music, the books, the, like, just history, you know, like, so many things that I didn't know. So I think that was really interesting. That book really catapulted me into a conversation and education of what I never knew before, which was really, really interesting.